Hey guys, my name is Mark Perini. I'm the founder of Selling Point, and I have some exciting news. You can now bulk import store credits into your Shopify store using Selling Point. So if you have a POS or a website that you're migrating over to Shopify, now you can easily and simply move store credits in bulk over to Shopify as native store credits. So let's get started. How do we go about importing store credits? So the first step is to go into apps and then click on Selling Point. Now, store credits are a little bit different than native gift cards in that with store credits, you need to have a customer in order to give them those store credits. So a customer needs to be created before you can import the store credits. Luckily, that's a really easy procedure. So if we were looking at our customers, we can see that we have a bunch of customers in here, but maybe not the ones that we were looking to import. So again, we can very easily use a customer CSV to import. So we're going to download this sample CSV. And you can see from here, and I have a few of these open because we've been doing some testing, but generally you can see there's a bunch of columns here. You can leave everything blank, so you don't need any of this information. If you want to include it, you absolutely can, but none of that is necessary or required. Only the email's required. So we have one that's already set up here. So again, we have all those headers, and we have these emails. These are the only things that are required. So again, we would just download that comma separated list. We go back to the app. And we're going to look for the right file. Here we go. And now, because these are net new customers, we don't need to override and we don't need to have any tags. So we're going to import those customers. That's going to go through. And you can see they successfully imported. So we're going to view all customers. And then if we click on the customer list, we'll see those net new customers show up right here. Okay, so now we have our customers imported. So that was the first step. The other thing to check is on settings and then customer accounts. You want to make sure that you're on new customer accounts and not on legacy accounts. The other thing to check is, are you allowing your customers to see and spend store credit? So you want to make sure that this is checked also. So again, new customer accounts and store credit, those are necessary for the app to function. So again, we're going into apps and then Selling Point. We're clicking migrate store credits. We've already got the customers in there. Now we can download the CSV for Selling Point. So this is the starting point for Selling Point. I have that right over here. Now again, you can use phone numbers. So you can have phone numbers here. They'd have to be a valid phone number. Or you can use email. We're going to focus on email. You can also have expires on. So you can have an expires on date. We're not going to focus on that. We're only going to focus on the things that are required for the import. I have an import already set up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to download that as a comma separated values or a CSV. It's 2. And then all we're going to do is we're going to click here and say add file. We grab that file. And then we're going to say import store credits. Now it's going to move you over to the import history. This shows the success and failure. You can do a refresh and that'll show you the updated numbers. What you'll be able to see is the success rate or the failure rate. So because I've been testing a lot, this customer was over his credit limit. So we'll take a look at that and see what's going on. So again, 7 were successful, 2 failed, and it shows you the failure rate and why. So again, we're going to go to that customer and see what went on. So this is the customer. And now you're going to see this customer has 14,000 store credits. You're going to see all of the balances for those credits and how they accumulated. Generally, we're in a dev store and the max balance that a customer could have is 15,000. So some of those imports would have put us over. So that's why we were getting that error. But what you can also do that's pretty interesting, and this is nothing to do with the app, but this is just on the Shopify admin, is you can actually edit the balance on a per customer basis. So if you made a mistake or you want to add some store credit for a customer, you can do that with either a debit or a credit. So a debit would be deducting store credit and credit would be adding. So for this customer, maybe we're going to add $100 to their store credit, and we're going to set an expiration date of November 8th, 2026. I'm going to click Review Change, and you could choose whether to notify the customer or not, and then you can credit that customer. With Selling Point, when you're importing to customers, there are no notifications for those customers, so they won't be notified that there'll be a store credit. But what you could do is notify the customers after, so you'll have that list of customers from the CSV. You could always send out a bulk email and let them know. But natively with the Shopify API and with Selling Point, those customers won't get any notifications, but they will see it in their accounts. So when those customers go into their accounts, they'll be able to actually see the balance of their store credits. And also when they're about to check out, they'll also see their store credit balance. So I hope you all start using store credits and start bulk importing store credits. And we're here to grow with you. So thank you for using Selling Point, and we're looking forward to you migrating over to Shopify. Thanks so much.